Good afternoon. I'm very glad to welcome President Karzai back to Downing Street. These are important discussions we're having today because although the events of the Middle East are rightly front and centre in the media spotlight at the moment, we should never forget just how important our shared mission is in Afghanistan for Britain and for the world. Over 10,000 British forces are there for one simple reason: to protect our national security and ensure that Afghanistan can never again be a safe haven for terrorists. First of all, we're going to be taking stock of the progress that we're making. I said when I visited Afghanistan in December that I was cautiously optimistic based on what I'd seen on the ground. I stand by that assessment. Real progress is being made every single day with our support. The Afghan government is taking greater responsibility for its own affairs. The build-up of the Afghan National Army is on target and is now over 150,000 strong. The Afghan police has grown to over 117,000. And while there are real challenges remaining, they're both increasingly successful national security forces. That's just one indicator, but taken together with the tangible inroads we're making in taking on the insurgency, including in its former heartlands in Helmand province, where British forces continue to push back the enemy in an extremely dangerous environment, there is, I believe, clear evidence that we have the right strategy, we have the resources to back it up, and we're on track to deliver it. We're also going to be discussing the three priorities for this year. First of all, we must capitalise on the momentum we've created in the military campaign and continue the build-up of the Afghan National Security Forces. Second, we must begin the process of transitioning security to an Afghan lead, and we've already been talking about that this afternoon. We discussed it at the NATO summit in Lisbon, and its planning is well underway. And as we pass increasing responsibility to the Afghan government, of course, Mr. President, it's vital that you take forward the wide-ranging reforms, including in banking and other areas, that will help create the strong and sustainable Afghan state which the international community can go on investing in and supporting in. Our third priority, again we've started to discuss, is the political process. Because, as I've always said, the military campaign, though of course hugely important, is only part of the equation. And so this year we also need real progress on an Afghan-led process of reconciliation and reintegration, under which it's made clear to the insurgency that if they are willing to take certain steps, abandon violence, cut ties to al-Qaeda, accept the basic tenets of the Afghan constitution, then they would be welcomed back into the mainstream of Afghan life. So today I say it is time for the Taliban to start this journey and to make this year a decisive year for peace in Afghanistan. Let me finish by saying a word about the longer term. Consistent with NATO plans, I've been clear that there will not be British troops in a combat role by 2015. But I also want to say this: President Karzai, beyond 2015, Britain and Afghanistan will continue to have a very strong relationship, a relationship based on diplomacy, on trade, on aid, on development, on military training, above all on friendship, because Britain is an all-weather friend, not a fair-weather friend to Afghanistan. So President Karzai, thank you again for coming to Britain this week. Thank you for having lunch with me here in Downing Street today and the further conversations we're going to have.